Hi there, Cancer. I'm EllaAradia, and welcome to your February 2026 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Cancer water signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. But what I find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Cancer signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Cancer, let's jump in. Always like to tune into the energies first, Cancer, before I start pulling cards. I'm actually a psychic channel, so I always like to kind of see what gets shown to me before I use the cards. I definitely feel like this is a seeing the blessings of a situation moment. And I do feel like it's been a long time coming for many of you. And what I'm seeing in the past is something coming to a close, some kind of disappointment, painful ending, which I do feel has been, very, very challenging for many of you. And as a result of that, the focus has kind of gone on you, and you focusing on you, your life, moving forwards, and really kind of pouring that energy back into yourself and investing in yourself. And I feel like it's started to kind of open something up for you. This might be a project that you have been working on, and whatever it was that kind of came to a close for you, it's just created, that extra space where you've really been able to kind of really focus on that and put your mind to it. And there's a lot going on for you, and I feel like you're only just beginning to see those hidden blessings that have come out of whatever it was that came to a close, a difficult situation. With your overall energies, we have Death, a card of transition. This is what you're in right now. This is what you have been in, I feel, for some weeks, maybe even some months now. And Death is a card of change. It's about letting go, or, shedding these layers of limiting beliefs, old versions of yourself, that really did need to be let go of, because there's a big invitation for a transition. And death usually comes in when it's a moment of a rebirth. And that's exactly what I'm seeing for you. Something really difficult coming to an ending, heartbreak for some of you, or, a lot of disappointment or sadness. And it's set you on a little bit of a different path. And I just get this sense of it's only now that maybe you're beginning to kind of realize this. It's a little bit like that tarot card, the Five of Cups, where, 3 cups are kind of spilt, and there's 2 remaining, which are always, the silver lining, the blessings of a situation. And I just feel like you've been so focused on the past. It's been such a big process, but at the same time, there's been a part of you that knows you have to move forward. And I definitely feel that even with, whatever difficult emotions have been going on for you, you still have kind of kept that energy of moving forwards, knowing that really, that's one of the only ways forward for you. And I don't think you really fully realize, what has been happening, because I really feel like those are your two cups. Those are the blessings of a situation. If whatever it was hadn't have come to a close, you know, it might have made it more difficult to move into what you are moving into right now. What lies in your recent past? The Two of Cups. For some of you, this may be a connection that broke down, and it may have been somebody that you had down as a life partner here. You had them down as your person. You saw this, you know, potential with them. And that may be what has kind of completed itself and come to a close. For others, it might actually be some kind of new opportunity that came in for you. And that's what I'm seeing you kind of moving into now. With your current energies, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, for some of you, a big focus on perhaps career and moving towards creating a life where, you know, you have that financial freedom and abundance. You know, creating a kind of life where you feel secure, financially particularly, where, you know, that allows you to perhaps do other things in life that you wanted to do, you know, take that trip or study something. It's about working towards that life where you are in a position to really experience more of life somehow. And for others, this is about healing. You know, in terms of love, you know, this could be a connection that broke down for some of you with the Two of Cups, a very powerful connection, a soulmate bond where perhaps there were, you know, some quite challenging soul lessons is what I'm feeling. And you're in some kind of process now. It's left you perhaps single, where, you know, you have been able to really invest in yourself and pour those energies into yourself. Definitely a moment of perhaps reevaluating your life and looking at, you know, what do you want your life to look like in, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and, you know, taking steps, you know, using what has happened to take those steps towards creating the kind of life that you really want to have. And, you know, this is often a process of healing as well. You know, the Nine of Pentacles, often in a love reading, you know, it's a card of independence and freedom, but it can, you know, it can represent, you know, coming to that point where you're kind of feeling okay on your own. It doesn't mean, you know, that you don't still want to have a life partner or a soulmate, but it's almost this sense of focusing on yourself for now and pouring into you, investing into you. Because I do feel like that is something that really was needed for you, to bring that focus to yourself, to create a stronger sense of self. And it, you know, the Nine of Pentacles, it's definitely like coming to that kind of point where you're kind of feeling okay just as you are. You don't necessarily need anybody, you know, so it's putting you in a more kind of whole and complete space in yourself where perhaps it's then about attracting somebody that can actually enhance your life, rather than what I feel was going on in the past was some kind of trauma bond, something that was unhealthy. There wasn't a balance of energies in this connection around kind of giving and taking. Your feelings towards your situation, the Six of Cups. So still a little bit of nostalgia, still a little bit of, you know, going back over the past and connecting very often to the good parts, you know, where there were happy memories, we felt loved. You know, there was something that, you know, whatever this connection, you know, or situation, you know, was for you, it was bringing you something, but it wasn't perhaps the complete package. And, you know, there might still be a little bit of kind of going back over the past, looking at old pictures, conversations, And just, you know, going back to, you know, those good parts, those good moments. But I definitely feel you're beginning to, rather than being stuck in that, because this is what I'm feeling here. You know, in the past, I feel like this is an energy which you got a little bit stuck on and it has held you back. Whereas now I feel like something different's happening. And I think that you are, you know, really beginning to understand, you know, the other reasons as to why perhaps, you know, this came to a close. Like it may be a project or a job for some of you. It could even be location related, where you've had to kind of make some kind of move. But for many of you, this is a love connection. And, you know, it may be someone that, you know, left your life that you really had them down, you know, as your person. And I do feel like it's been quite a challenge to kind of get through that. So what lies in the challenge is judgment. Your hidden influence is the world. So judgment comes in very often at a moment of a life review. And I do feel like that's been a challenge because, like I was saying, I feel like many of you, you know, found it quite difficult to let go of whoever this was. And, you know, I do feel like it's been a challenge to take a pause to, you know, really look at the situation, to see the whole picture here. Because judgment is very much a moment of looking back on the past, looking at, you know, what do we need to let go of? What do we need to learn from the past? And what do we take with us moving forwards? And that's the feeling here. I just feel, you know, that is something for you to look at. You know, that maybe with the world as the hidden influence, this is about the ending of a significant chapter. And it's all about cycles, endings and beginnings. It's also about growth, you know, things moving to the next level. I often see this as a card of graduation. And there may be a question around really having a look at, you know, what do you take? Who do you take moving forwards? Because I feel like this isn't even somebody that's really in your life anymore, but yet they're kind of still holding you back energetically. And there is an invitation, I feel, perhaps to, you know, keep focusing on, you know, the blessings and what you have been able to achieve as a result of, you know, whatever this is that broke down or didn't end the way that you thought it would. And really look at, you know, is this something energetically that you still need to hold on to? And maybe have a deeper look at that. You know, why are you still holding on to that? You know, sometimes with the Six of Cups, this is about going back to childhood and looking at, you know, those inner child wounds, particularly around parents and things like that, the dynamics that, you know, were going on in the family when you were growing up. It's often where a lot of beliefs are formed around feeling unloved or not enough somehow. Maybe a parent left, and so it's difficult to, you know, let go of whoever this person is in your past. So it might be to have a deeper look at, you know, what might still be perhaps keeping your energy in the past there, because there is an invitation to, you know, complete something here and have some kind of new beginning with the World card. So in your advice, we have the Page of Pentacles. This is all about openness, being open to grow, to evolve. It's about moving out of your comfort zone. For some of you, you know, this is some kind of new beginning, and that new beginning might simply be, you know, studying or working towards, you know, really mastering your skill. You know, it's all about being open to learning and growing. So keep moving forwards and, you know, keep pouring into yourself, especially whatever this is that you're working on that, you know, really kind of opened up after, you know, whatever that was that came to a close in the past. You know, keep moving forwards, keep investing in yourself in that way, and stay open. What lies in your outcome is the Tower, and this is change. But, you know, sometimes that change can be a little bit challenging, but the Tower comes in. So we have Death, which is a card of transition, of change, of letting go of, you know, what truly no longer serves you. And that's very much the energies of the Tower as well. It's about the breaking down of beliefs, of situations, connections, you know, whatever that might be, that you're no longer in alignment with, you know, things that might have been holding you back. And what lies on the other side of this Tower is actually something better for you, and it's an opportunity for you to put things back together in a better way. And I do feel that you're doing that already. And so, you know, whatever this shift is, the more that you can just embrace it and trust it, the easier it's going to be for you. And it's very much to get into that energy of just trusting what's unfolding. Sometimes, you know, the Tower comes in to actually move somebody or something out of your life because you're meant for something else. So it's all about just trusting what's unfolding, and as much as you can, just try to kind of embrace this process. So Cancer, I'm going to leave that there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, you know, always make your own decisions. Do what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, Cancer, and I wish you a great month ahead.